Hello, welcome to Shad Life. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about what it's like to be an older rider. By the way, do you like my new shirt? Here, let me show you the back. That's my raised souvenir. All right. So, what's inspiring me to talk about this is I just watched the Chris Muller interview, the second one on Our BMX. Super cool. I love the Chris Muller interviews, which is also going to get me to create another video at another time talking a little bit about the bicycle industry from my personal experience throughout the many years that I've been riding, starting from like 1980, I guess is when I got serious about it. So I am 55 years old. I believe Chris Muller is a couple years younger than me, but he's in his 50s, and there's a lot of BMXers now in their 50s. I just was on Facebook and saw a Dave Norrie post. His birthday is today. He's 57. If you don't know who Dave Norrie is, he was a professional Haro rider in the 80s. I think maybe going into the early 90s, or maybe he was on some other teams. I don't know. Late 80s, early 90s, everything was a little fuzzy and goofy. But Eddie Fiola, all these riders from Martin Appareo, all these riders from the 80s that were professionals, they were touring around the country. They're still riding, a lot of them are anyway, and they're still loving it. And, I never really got to their caliber. I mean, I kind of look at myself in my bicycle career. It wasn't really a career unless I was working at a bicycle shop. But since 1980, I've kind of was, what does that saying go? Jack of all trades, master of none. I dabbled in BMX racing. I dabbled in BMX freestyle. I got into mountain biking. I was doing trials riding for a while there, which is a lot of hopping. I'm really good at hopping around on my bicycle. I have some videos where I'm going up the stairs and stuff like that. So I'll just insert a clip of me going up the stairs right here. Cool. So, yeah, I've been doing this a long time, but I never really focused on one single discipline of BMX or biking. And because of that, I kind of got like decently good at a lot of different aspects of bicycling, but I never got really good at any one form of it. There were definitely some times in my life when I was pretty good at particular things. I was pretty into street riding for a while. I really liked that, and grinding and stuff like that on my pegs and things in the 90s. Never really got good at skate parks and transition riding. I had a crash in like 86, face planted on a quarter pipe, and I think I still struggle to like go above coping. I can go above coping, but it's really scary for me to go higher. So transitions are tough. And actually, when I was at Ray's, they have a resi jump box, and in order to clear the resi, there's a lot of places that are set up like this, but in order to clear the jump box, you have to go super high on a vert wall. And the factory, which is no longer around, had a similar setup where I had to go high on the vert wall in order to come down and do it. And there's no coping or anything, but just that transition, getting high, has just always been afraid of it. So, and I still struggle with it today, but I keep thinking in my mind, I would like to get over that. Even though I'm 55 years old, I want to get over that and keep improving. And it's kind of interesting that I still have that mindset. So, what is it like to be an older rider? So Chris Muller, in that interview, he kind of talked about this in a sense of a curve. So when you first start riding, you suck at it, but you love it and you're having fun. you don't have to be good at something was kind of his point to enjoy it. Like, so you get that addiction, you get into it. And then he talked about going up and becoming kind of like, the dude. He was the one everybody wanted to see ride. He was really good. And then over the years that curve goes down, and then you're back as you get older to kind of, I wouldn't say you suck like you did when at the beginning, but you're definitely not at this peak prime where you were at one point in time in your life. So, but what he was really talking about is how he still loves to ride. He really enjoys it. And there's a point in our lives as we get older, we have to have this acceptance that we have to take it down a notch, and that we're not going to be this, top, rider anymore, or whatever, or at our peak, I guess, because everybody's peak is different, right? So that's really what it's about, and I really liked it that he brought that up in the video, because those of us that are in our 40s and 50s, or even, I don't know if there's anybody in their 60s yet riding there. I'm guessing that's coming soon, and I'm 55, so am I gonna get rid of my BMX bike when I turn 60? I mean, unless I have some physical thing that prevents me from riding, I'm not going to stop riding, right? And that will come. And this is where that acceptance thing comes from. There is going to be a point where I just physically can't do something anymore. And maybe I end up being reserved to just commuting and pedaling down the street. Or if I go mountain biking, maybe I need an e-bike in order to keep up with other people. And by that time, e-bikes will be much better, lighter, hopefully, things like that. I do know a guy, his name is Don, older, I believe he's in his 80s now. And he had one of the early Specialized Turbo Levos, or whatever they're called. I'm not much into Specialized, but he would ride with us on his e-bike because he was older and it allowed him to keep up. So that was cool, right? So as we get older, we have to change our mindset. But I still feel like I'm kind of capable of doing things. Here's a clip of me on my BMX bike doing a Bubaka to fakie. So that is pretty cool that I can still do that. I can still ride my BMX bike. Is it like this crazy mind-blowing trick? No. It's, when you look at what the young kids are doing today, and young kids meaning, mid-teens on up through their 30s, right? Like that's kind of like BMX has a wide age range of like the top pros. Also in the Chris Muller interview, one of the interviewers, and again, I don't follow the riders all that much, but he's talking about how he's in his 30s, right? Like, and he's still one of the top riders. So you really have a wide range of being kind of at that peak. How do you stay at that peak? Well, it's taking care of yourself. Like I've seen riders that go up and come right back down rather quickly, and those riders tend to be riders that push the boundaries too much. They also tend to be riders that like to party. They like get a little bit of fame and they just take advantage of it, and they hit the party scene hard. That might include, usually it's alcohol, but sometimes drugs and things like that. Living that kind of lifestyle is going to bring you down faster than anything. And again, everybody's a little different. Somehow some people's bodies can tolerate living that lifestyle longer than others. But I have actually had some friends that are younger than me that have passed away in their 40s due to in this case, alcoholism, but there's been a couple drug related too, and it's just sad to see. So um, I uh, decided at a point I really am going to take care of myself, right? Part of that is being sober and taking care of myself as far as what I eat, as far as like making sure I do workouts and stuff. It's winter now, so and sometimes I just can't always get out and go biking. Even if it's fat biking, the conditions aren't always ideal for it. So I jump on Zwift. I have Zwift set up. I am not a road biker, never have been, but I've been doing more of that kind of riding lately, and I ride Zwift and stuff. And the reason why is because it allows me to ride and be fit in the in between places when I can't be doing BMX or mountain biking, things like that. So, and it's not my favorite kind of riding, but if I, get with a group of people that are kind of fun, it's not so bad. Going out by myself on a road bike on a long ride, for me, and I'm talking about me specifically, is boring. But going mountain biking by myself, going and riding my BMX by myself, I love it, right? So if I ever do road or gravel riding, I like to do it with a group of people because it's just more fun, right? So, but those activities, even though they're not in the main genre of cycling that I am super passionate about, keep me healthy. They keep me going. And I see a lot of people out there that kind of complain about their fitness and their health and stuff. And it's like, well, you're not going to become fit by magic, right? You have to actually move your body. You have to actually get out there and do it. And as I get older, it gets more challenging. There are times when I'd rather just lay down and nap, or I'd rather sit here on YouTube and watch a bunch of YouTube videos and watch everybody else ride while I laze around the house, right? Like, there are days that that's what I want to do, but I force myself to get out and do some form of fitness. And when I do that, it helps me mentally, it helps me physically, I feel better, all that stuff. So getting over that hump to get out there, it gets more challenging as I get older. As far as like my capabilities, I feel pretty capable. Riding my mountain bike, I feel like I could still shred. Sure, I'm not doing really big things, but here's a clip of me last summer riding Cuyuna and jumping these jumps and getting a little whip in there. I mean, it's I feel like I can still shred pretty good on my mountain bike. Maybe not the top-notch rider, but maybe it's the BMX background I have that allows me to kind of be more in that higher skill level on mountain bike. I'm not sure, but yeah, check these clips out. Cool. So, yeah, 55 years old. I'll be turning 56 in the spring. So, by the time I'm like fully back into biking in the spring and the snow's all melted, I'll be really close to be turning 56. And I look at that and go, wow, I'm starting to really get up there. I'm not that far from 60. 60 is kind of a big deal. Everybody thinks of 40 as a big deal and turning 50 as a big deal. For me, not so much, but 60 60 to me seems like, okay, now that's a big deal. And then I'm sure 70 is going to be even a bigger deal. But like if I think of, kind of this over the hill, like I don't really feel like I'm over the hill yet. Like a lot of people, it used to be, oh, when you turn 40, you're over the hill. Is it now that you turn 50 you're over the hill? I personally don't feel like I'm over the hill, but it really depends on how well you take care of yourself. And so for those of you out there that are younger, if you want to be doing this for a long time, take care of yourself. Don't alcohol and drug yourself to death. Like, it's just not good for your body. Don't smoke. Don't do that stuff. Like, I know it's all like the trends and the rage here and there, and you want to be cool and popular and have fun, but it's just not worth it. If you want that longevity, you can have plenty of fun without that stuff. And especially if you ride bike and hang out with the right people. And also, eat well, take care of yourself, make sure you stay active, don't get lazy. People that, decide to get married and have kids and everything, great, all for it. But the people that I see that do really well with that, they stay active. They get a bike trailer, they throw their kids in the bike trailer, they ride. Just even if it's just riding out around the lakes in this case, or along the parkway or whatever, like, get out and keep moving, and then get your kids into biking and stuff. Like those are the people that I see. But then I see this other side where people, like, once they have families and stuff, they gain weight, they get out of shape. It's more about the Sunday football game than it is anything else. And it's like, then when you're talking to them like 10 or 15 years later, and they're out of shape, they don't feel good, they're eating pizza and drinking beer, and they're like, oh yeah, I used to ride BMX, oh it was so fun, oh yeah. And it's like, used to ride? I always, like, cracks me up. It's like, why did you quit? Why did you stop riding? And yes, people do have reasons for not being able to, like, ride BMX or something. They have a physical disability and stuff. But most of the physical ailments I've seen people have are mostly because of the lifestyle they chose to get into, and they didn't remain active and healthy. Yes, I'm going to talk a little bit more about being an older rider. Just because, it's just something that I kind of was originally going to talk more about on my channel, and I kind of haven't talked a lot about it, but it's pretty cool. I'm pretty stoked that I'm still able to ride, and it's a one day at a time thing. I have no idea what tomorrow has to bring for me, right? So I'm going to enjoy today for what today is. I know in the recovery and then the program, it's the 24 hours, and just that's all I can really focus on is the next 24 hours of my life. And yes, I do plan for things in the future, but I don't really know what tomorrow has to bring, right? So I live life in the moment. It's really important. So there you have it. I'll do more videos talking about age and kind of what it's like to be an aging cyclist. I might actually talk a little bit about what fitness things I do and workouts I do to kind of keep my body fit at some point. I talked about Zwift as one of them, but I have one of these total gym things. That's the Chuck Norris thing that I use to, keep my upper body strong, my core strong, things like that. Anyway, I appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace.